Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 183 based on novel. So let's start. As he had checked on the 30 seniors much earlier, he was very clear about their skills, since he had information about them, especially on the 5 great warriors. The top 5 of the universe level, Enai Nan, Luo Fu, Luo Feng, Ge, and Sajin Fire Dragon. The strongest and hardest to deal with was without doubt Luo Fu, and most shocking would be the chemist Luo Feng. These two were the most terrifying of the 5. Even Luo Feng knew within that at this point he was far from being their match. Luo Fu, courageous and intrepid. Luo Feng walked the path of the chemist, which was a rare oddity. However, once he succeeded, he would be extremely terrifying. Even Luo Fu would lose to him. The other 3, Enai Nan, Sajin Fire Dragon and Ge were closer in strength. Ge, even though he was the latest to pass the 7th level, his battle ability was terrifying. Sajin Fire Dragon? Luo Feng looked up at the man with the dragon tail, frowning. Must I actually fight him now? The original plan was that, after passing the 7th level, he would go take on missions and train well during the 6 years. Settling Mo Yilin and Usher was just a convenience earlier. He had never thought of them as threats. However, it was completely different with Fire Dragon. In the arena, Fire Dragon waved his tail, slapping the sides of the arena stones, and staring down angrily. Luo Feng, get up. Do you not dare come up, get up. Luo Feng, if you have the guts, go up. The universe level seniors all shouted together. Mo Yilin is weaker than you, so you dare to bully him. Meeting Sajin, you are so terrified you don't dare to get up. The spectators below were mostly made of sector lords. In reality, they were all in dangerous secret areas exploring, going through life of death training. Training over and over, their mental states were extremely nervous. Occasionally watching the younger universe level spar was interesting. What's more, it was the geniuses among the geniuses fighting. Sajin versus Luo Feng, interesting. If they really fight, who do you think would win? 3 sector lords in black armor discussed. That Sajin Fire Dragon, he trains the most pinnacle manual, the Black Hole Evolution. Even though with his points he could only exchange for the first few manuals. However, just those are enough for him to unleash his full strength. Beating Luo Feng shouldn't be a problem. I'm favoring Sajin too. Haha, everyone is thinking the same thing. I'm favoring Sajin too. When I saw him battle Luo Fu before, this Sajin was indeed of the battle race Flame Mother. His strength was incredible. Unless Luo Feng can make his blade world reach the omnipresent level, he can't win. The sector lords of the absolute beginning region were all sector lord level 9 pinnacles. Sector lords capable of entering the last phase region were all usually recognized by the laws. And the absolute beginning sector lords, any one of them was an absolute being in the universe, stronger than Black Dragon Mountain's Jiang Qian Chen by many times. Just how critical were their judgment on this battle? They clearly saw both Luo Feng and Sajin's strengths. The sector lords and domain lords watched with anticipation. The distant seniors too were challenging. In the arena, Sajin's eyes were gleaming, looking down on Luo Feng. Will you go or not? Wuka looked at Luo Feng. Even you don't have any guarantee, from what I see. That Sajin seems to want to teach you a good lesson. You cannot let it happen. The green-haired youth Jiang Mo said softly, and Sajin had passed the 7th level more than 1,000 years ago. Even if you back out now, it wouldn't be a disgrace. Will you go or not? Rong Jun asked softly too. Around him, Ao Pa Ti La, the gentle and beautiful Chen Shui and Ari Chen, the handsome Lancelot, all looked at Luo Feng. The 8 of them were of the same faction, the newbie faction. Their honor and shame were as one. I was originally waiting for the qualification battles to show my trump card. Looks like I have to use it now instead. Luo Feng looked at the man with the dragon tail, and at the surrounding newbies around him looking at him with hope. He made a decision. For everybody, this battle. He had to win. Rumble. Luo Feng became a beam of light like a shooting star and landed in the distant arena. Haha, good, Luo Feng, you've got guts. Nice. Work hard, I favor you. The group of sector lords and domain lords all shouted loudly, hoping for the battle to be exciting. In their hearts, they regarded him as the same level as them because they could easily see that his improvement speed would eventually make him have a very high possibility of entering the primal region eventually. In the arena, Luo Feng and Sa Jin were a few kilometers apart, staring at each other. They could see each other clearly, even the perspiration beads on each other's face could be seen. You've got guts. Sa Jin's voice was strong and firm. Cut the chatter and make your move, Luo Feng said. When the distant Sa Jin heard this, he immediately smiled. You sure are an arrogant punk. However, I'll wake you up. Sure. The dark cloud shuttle appeared below Luo Feng's feet. Simultaneously, the dark golden long rod on his back shot out 10 million gold lights. The little golden blades shot in all directions, the engravings weaved through tens of millions of golden threads. The countless threads connected with the land and skies, immediately forming a 100 kilometers area. The space was vast, countless blade energy revolved. Blade world. Ha ha, interesting, somewhat interesting. Sa Jin stood in the arena. He raised his head and laughed. Simultaneously red flames shot out from around him. The burning flames engulfed his body. At the same time, it clashed and blocked the blade energy. He was like a flame god. What a powerful fire domain. It's incomparably condensed and able to block my blade world's pressure. Luo Feng thought, and the dark cloud shuttle floated in mid-air, simultaneously swiftly forming an incomparably condensed gold blade energy. A translucent dark gold blade was formed. Go? Luo Feng pointed ahead. The dark gold blade energy immediately pierced forward. Sa Jin was wearing black armor all over. At this time, huge gloves appeared on his hands. It was made of a completely black metal. The joints of the finger regions were sharp like knives. Rumble. Sa Jin, against the lightning-fast dark gold blade energy, punched heavily forward. His fists were like arrows. His bare arms and thick neck muscles shook slightly, as obviously he had poured all his power into that one punch. A simple punch, however, the power was explosive. If he went to the undying altar, Sa Jin could at least reach 90 times his explosive force. Peng! The dark gold blade energy dispersed and Sa Jin took a heavy step back. His heavy boot stomping on the arena caused countless amounts of rubble to fly. This scene made Luo Feng's expression change. He blocked it like that. He's actually able to make me step back. Sa Jin looked at Luo Feng and forced a smile. The Nanshan armament is indeed one of the 9 godly weapons. Rumble. Sa Jin strided and he rushed right before Luo Feng. Luo Feng retreated quickly. So fast. Under the blade world's pressure, his instantaneous speed is still so fast. Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and immediately dodged. Rumble. Immediately over 10,000 images appeared in the space around him. These countless images flashed. 10,000 thread movement, the 4th level, 10,000 thread movement. After comprehending the 36th wonder and through the 3rd manual of time-space scribbles along with the rainstorm picture, after half a year, Luo Feng was able to unleash the 10,000 thread movement. Especially with the blade world and its assistance, it was even easier. Usually when he unleashed 10,000 images, it was purely for speed. However, the 10,000 thread movement was able to effectively make the 10,000 images combine and work together, making him like a ghost, who was hard to guard against. 10,000 thread movement. I hate these kind of techniques. That's only for fleeing. Sa Jin's eyes seemed to be burning. Haha, a controller would naturally not fight close combat with a fighter. Over 10,000 Luo Fengs were laughing simultaneously. Also the gold threads once again condensed and shot forward. The golden blade energy was just like a playing child, over and over circling Sa Jin, and not going straight up against him. Bastard! Sa Jin raged. He loosened his grip on the gloves and struggled as he once again gripped tight. 7 images. 7 Sa Jins, and every one of them were using some fist technique. From the left to right, every one of their gloves glowed brighter and brighter, especially the 7th image. The dark red light was at least 30 centimeters thick, making the fist look like a huge hammer. Rumble, Sajin punched a fist into mid-air. The land and skies shook with a rumble, and half of the blade world collapsed. Only the region around Luo Feng was maintained. Luo Feng's expression changed. This is the Nine Fists? The black hole evolution was comparable to time-space scribbles. They were considered same-level manuals. As long as one reached a high level in these two, they could become universe country leaders. Luo Feng had heard that when the black hole evolution was trained to its peak, whether it was a fist, blade or sword, every thought could produce a black hole. Black hole, this was an extremely terrifying celestial body. It wasn't a true hole, but a celestial body formed from countless collapses and condensation into one body. In terms of density, the white dwarf star was very high, but the Shenzhi star was more terrifying. However, nothing was able to compare to a black hole. The black hole was an extremely small but condensed entity. Its density was even more terrifying than 10 planets. Its strength and gravity was absurd. Gravity, tearing through space. Accurately speaking, the black hole was between the primal universe and the messy flow of space feeling. Because of its high density, mass and gravity, even the space flow couldn't affect it. Hence, it was like a boulder rooted and unmoving. It swallowed all light, ships, stars and planets into itself. Even great undyings, if they were to be sucked in, they would also die. The Nine Fists was one of the final moves in the Black Hole Evolution Manual, and its reputation was well known. At this time, there were two silhouettes walking in space above the clouds, where the absolute beginning region was in Yuxiong Mountain. Yuxiong Mountain was where the core geniuses of the Virtual Universe Company gathered. Thunder Island was where the undyings of the Virtual Universe Company and the Absolute Warriors gathered. Meaning that Yuxiong Mountain and Thunder Island, the space in which they were located, was in truth the headquarters. The number of warriors gathered was even more than in reality. Under normal circumstances, Luo Feng and the rest had no way to fly that high. They were unable to fly out of Yuxiong Mountain to Thunder Island. They couldn't fly too far away from Yuxiong Mountain either, just like an invisible barrier that covered the entire area. Same theory. Thunder Island, which was the gathering place for countless undyings and stronger beings, had a formless barrier too. Those beings couldn't fly too far from Thunder Island. Hence, to be able to leave Yuxiong Mountain and Thunder Island and fly within this space above, these were definitely the true upper echelons and powerful beings. There were two people walking slowly in the space. One of them was almost 8 meters tall, and was dressed in silver armor, bearing his arms and neck. As for his face, it was dark red in color, and there was a rhombus crystal embedded between his eyes. He too had a thick strong tail, and his deep eyes look almost like stars burning. From one look, one could tell that this being was a Mother Flame race person. And the other was only 2 meters tall, skinny and dressed in a peculiar black armor, and on it were countless silver engravings. In the middle of his forehead he had a third eye, a vertical eye. That eye seemed to be a place where a golden blade was gathered at, giving off the feeling as though his gaze was like knives shooting out. Ha ha ha. Mother Flame, look below. One of the two punks below is your descendant. The three-eyed man gazed below. Through 10,000 kilometers of space, he clearly saw the two, who were preparing to battle. Mother Flame? The ancient Mother Flame race, only one person was worthy of the name Mother Flame. That was the first Mother Flame race person born within the vast universe. He was the first. After mating with other races, through countless years, the race was established. He was the only ancestor head of the clan for over 1 trillion years, and was also the Flame Crystal Universe country leader. He's called Sajin. He is a genius from the Fire Dragon side. Mother Flame gazed below and smiled. Mother Flame, who do you think will win below? The three-eyed man laughed lightly. Of course Sajin. Mother Flame laughed confidently. He then looked at the three-eyed man beside and said, Why, man, you don't agree? The three-eyed man smiled. I bet that his opponent wins. If I win, you have to give me that dagger of yours. How about it, dream on? Mother Flame stared. Fine, not your dagger then. But if I win, you'll have to give me that golden horn world stone instead. How about that? The three-eyed man said. Mother Flame glanced and smiled. That's fine. But if I win instead, you'll have to give me the purple thunder glass. Okay. The three-eyed man replied. Ha ha, then get ready to give that exquisite glass to me. Mother Flame said. You get ready to give me that stone too. A golden horned beast can only gather enough to make one such stone in its life. With that, my disciple's weapon's main material would be acquired. The three-eyed man smiled. The two of them smiled, while gazing below. The purple thunder glass and the golden horn world stone, those were mysterious items formed in the universe. The golden horn world stone, only the pinnacle of the 12 space beasts, the golden horned beast could produce it. And it could only produce one in its entire life. As the numbers of the beast were extremely low in the universe, this stone was extremely rare and valuable. As for the purple thunder glass, in the universe, only the Bug Clan region's terrifying Thunder Shrine produced it. This Thunder Shrine, countless years ago, had a peculiar clan that lived in it, even that clan had yet to fully explore the secret region. Later on, that clan was destroyed by the automaton race. The Thunder Shrine then became a strongly reputed secret region, causing trillions of races in the vast universe to head over and explore it. The undyings of the humans too went over. The Thunder Glass was a more important and valuable material. 10,000 thread movement. The three-eyed man nodded and smiled. Ha ha, 9 fists. He's bound to win. Mother Flame smiled too. The two of them continued to gaze below. Yuxiong Mountain Absolute Beginning Region, in that arena. Luo Feng and Sa Jin's fight had already reached the craziest level. Rumble, Sa Jin's one punch immediately caused the surround space to crumble. His eyes were staring straight at Luo Feng. Punk, you are bound to lose. Sa Jin's speed exploded and his movement became peculiar and hard to predict. It was almost as though in an instant there were 2 Sa Jins rushing over, and yet it also felt like there was only one. His 9 fists already warps the space itself, and his silhouette and image seems real to the naked eye. Luo Feng's expression changed. Stepping on the dark cloud shuttle, he unleashed the 10,000 thread movement and dodged. He simultaneously controlled the Blade World, and with only half of the world left to extend, he borrowed the Blade World's energy and locked onto his target. It's no use. Sa Jin roared and instantly reached before Luo Feng. Rumble. That 30 centimeters thick, red light huge fist was like 2 dark red hammers. There were flames surrounding the fists. It was fast like lightning, leaving a streak of flames and hitting Luo Feng's body. Kai? Luo Feng became a blur and dispersed. So fast. A few kilometers away, Luo Feng stared at Sa Jin on the dark cloud shuttle. Once again a thread of condensed golden blade energy appeared before him. Go! The dark golden blade energy tore through the space forward. Luo Feng didn't control the blade energy to match force with force. But rather, he used it to attack from peculiar angles, affecting Sa Jin's speed. Roar! Sa Jin was frustrated as he was stuck. With a roar, the flames around him condensed and simultaneously a dark red light formed around his bones and skin all over. He resembled a person wearing a dark golden light armor. Simultaneously his right fist became a blur. It was extremely fast, as it knocked against the blade energy. Its speed is so much faster than before. The distant Luo Feng's expression changed. I was prepared to use this against Luo Fu. However, today I'll let you try it out. Sa Jin's speed exploded and he rushed towards Luo Feng. His movement was fast like lightning. Luo Feng was getting fatigued just from dodging. It was risky. Black Hole Evolution's Flame Crystal 9 bodies? This Sa Jin has actually completed one of the levels? The grey-robed Ninan below the arena changed his expression. It'll be very hard for me to beat him. Flame Crystal 9 bodies was one of the other techniques within Black Hole Evolution. In terms of power, the 9 fists was stronger. The Flame Crystal 9 bodies, once completed, one's entire body will have an armor-like layer. Also, it wasn't only for defense, it would amplify the warrior's speed and attack as well. It was a very powerful technique. However, Simply starting this was very hard. That Sajin was from the Mother Flame race, hence he was naturally suited for this. With high talents and a good teacher, after training hard for thousands of years, he finally had some progress. Luo Feng is in trouble now. Rong Jun's expression changed. That blockhead is moving too fast. Wuka stared wide-eyed too. The group of newbies and the universe-level seniors, including the sector lords and domain lords, were all shocked. Not just power, but level-wise, this Sajin could be considered among the middle and top, even amongst the domain lord-level geniuses. This Luo Feng is about to lose. No shame in this loss. He was overpowered. Luo Feng was indeed being overpowered. Sajin, who had unleashed the flame crystal 9 bodies, was a strange being after all. His fist speed could already keep up with the blade energy speed, and his body movement could catch up to Luo Feng on the Dark Cloud shuttle. After 2 attempts, during the 3rd time, his fists hit Luo Feng's 6-edged shield. Rumble, the shield was knocked away and Luo Feng fell hard on the arena ground, leaving a crater on the surface. You actually didn't die? Your usage of the shield is just as good as a strong fighter's. Sajin smiled, however, it's useless. Strong fighter? Shield and blade, these were what the Mosha clansman had trained in the illusionary techniques for many years. It used the blade well, naturally the shield defense was just as strong. Rumble. Sajin rushed over again. Luo Feng, who was on the ground, looked up fiercely, staring at Sajin. He roared, "Go and die." One, the blade whirled fiercely, rose in all directions, and a condensed gold blade energy gathered before him. Sajin still rushed over without a care, but suddenly, he revealed a look of shock. Rumble. A terrifying consciousness pressure descended on him, smashing against Sajin's consciousness. One of Luo Feng's trump cards, consciousness pressure. The golden horned beast was already Domain Lord level 9. This Domain Lord level 9 beast, just in terms of consciousness strength, was comparable to a human sector Lord level 3's pressure. Back when Luo Feng was in Blood River World, the Domain Lord pinnacle consciousness pressure was enough to cause a star-level soul to instantly crumble. With a glance, he would die. And right now, Sajin had encountered a sector Lord level 3 pressure. Even though that Sajin had a good bloodline and high talents, and had many miraculous encounters, in terms of consciousness strength he was at most a Domain Lord level 1 or 2. There was one huge level gap. Even if he didn't die, he would still be thrown off balance for a while, losing all resistance. This ability was very powerful. While exploring Blood River World, Luo Feng used this often. However, when he attempted the Heavenly Bridge level 7, he never used it at all. Because, the Heavenly Bridge was a test of one's comprehension of the laws. Using the consciousness pressure would be akin to somewhat cheating, and Luo Feng was afraid the virtual universe system would immediately be on alert. Hence, he never used it before in the Heavenly Bridge. However, during a 1v1, he could still use it. Rumble. Sajin instantly spaced out, and his eyes were lifeless. The dark golden blade energy shot through his eyes and pierced his head. As it pierced through, his eyes seemed to gleam a little, as though he had regained consciousness. However, it was too late. Rumble. Sajin fell on the floor, smashing into the arena. Return. Luo Feng stood up. The countless little golden blades in the sky around all flew back into the dark golden long rod. Victory! High above the misty Yuxiong mountain, there stood 2 men gazing down with different expressions. Ha ha, Mother Flame, thanks for you Golden Horn World Stone. My disciple's weapon finally has its material. The 3-eyed man smiled, simultaneously glancing over, checking his expression. That punk actually won? Mother Flame gazed below and frowned. What strong consciousness pressure. Don't change the subject. The 3-eyed man smiled. Are you trying to get away with it? Relax, I'll definitely give you the stone. Mother Flame felt his loss. This wasn't a commonly seen metal in the universe, like the hybrid copper essence. Even though it was an extremely expensive metal, however, with the Yunmo master Hu Yangbo's ability he could still acquire a large enough amount to build a ship. And the golden horned world stone? One golden horned beast could only produce one. If a beast died prematurely, then it wouldn't even have had a chance to produce the stone. Even with all the stones in the universe added together, a ship couldn't be built. Compared to the hybrid copper essence, it was like diamond versus soil. I can't understand why that punk's consciousness pressure is so strong. Mother Flame said. He was born with great brain size, or some miraculous encounters, causing his soul to evolve. The three-eyed man smiled. Anyway, in the vast universe, there are a lot of mysteries. There's still much even we don't know. Encountering something that evolves one's soul and consciousness strength. Even though it's rare, there's still such things. Mother Flame shook his head, staring at the three-eyed man. You've earned quite a bit. Ha ha, don't blame me. Blame that little genius from your clan. His willpower is very average. If he was strong enough, he would have been able to remain conscious. The three-eyed man smiled. Mother Flame was shocked, nodding. His willpower is average. The consciousness was the countless soldiers, whereas willpower was considered the general. When Luo Feng attempted Fantasy Ocean, knocking through each island, he would feel the consciousness pressure. At the 9th island, even many Sector Lord pinnacles couldn't pass it. The 9th island's consciousness pressure was stronger than even a Sector Lord pinnacle. In between the Sector Lord pinnacle and Undying. And when Luo Feng attempted it before, his consciousness was only at the Domain Lord pinnacle level. A whole level gap. He forcefully dealt with it, keeping his calm and passing it. And when he reached the 10th island, as that was a pressure on the level of an Undying, it completely crumbled his consciousness. Hence, he had failed at this level. A Sector Lord to Undying was a huge evolution of the soul, hence the pressure increase from Universe level to Domain Lord, and Sector Lord wasn't as terrifying. Sector Lord to Undying. There was an absolute increase in consciousness pressure. Hence, at the 10th island, Luo Feng's consciousness was simply destroyed. Luo Feng's willpower was already very terrifying, and his consciousness was incomparably sturdy, like a crystal. It could withstand anything. When it comes to retaining consciousness, unless it was simply too much of a difference, it would just break. Either the consciousness would prevail strong, or it would just break. There were only two outcomes. And those without strong willpower, simply getting shouted at would stun them. This was a state where they were semi-conscious and blanked out. That Sajin, under Luo Feng's consciousness pressure attack, was stunned for an instant. If his willpower was as solid as Luo Feng's, he would have at most felt a little dizzy, but still would have been able to maintain his consciousness. Absolute beginning region, the area below the arena was silent. Close to 300 people had already gathered there. This was about 1/4 of the members in the entire region. How can that be? He lost. Sajin unleashed the 9 fists and flamed crystal 9 bodies. Yet, he still lost. What happened at that last moment? That Luo Feng, did he use some spirit attack? The group of Sector Lords were shocked, as most of them had thought that Sajin would win. However, the final outcome was quite a surprise. Even with their abilities, they weren't able to see what actually happened. Lost, we've lost, Sajin, he lost. The seniors of the universe level were all completely stunned. They looked dejected at the black-haired youth. They too were geniuses in the absolute beginning region. They too were picked from the genius battles, picked from a battle of the strong, and the final group nurtured from the 1008 universe countries. Who wasn't a genius? And these were geniuses that had been training for very long. And yet today, against a group of newbies that had just joined the virtual universe company who had yet to participate in their first qualification battle, they lost. Nan. Mo Yi Lin and Usher, who were defeated earlier, stood beside the grey-armored Nan. What happened? How could we lose? Nan stared at Luo Feng in the arena. Sajin, that punk, even I have no guarantee against him. I can only hope to risk it all and battle. However, in that final moment, he was still defeated. Just what happened? Just what happened? Nan was worried within. Because Luo Feng would be his obstacle in the qualification battle. Sajin's final defeat, I might meet the same end. Nan frowned and was pondering hard. At that final moment, what happened? Luo Feng carried his dark golden long rod and headed down from the arena. Ha ha, Luo Feng, beautiful. Wuka jumped and cheered loudly. Impressive. Rong Jun smiled and waved his fists. Luo Feng, your final roar, go and die, was very thrilling. The handsome Lancelot laughed and shouted too. Jiang Mo and Qian Shui and his sister shouted excitedly as well. The gentle and calm Ai Chen was all smiles too, and Ao Pa Ti La laughed stupidly there. Luo Feng smiled and walked to the side of the arena and jumped down. Luo Feng. A roar could be heard from behind. Luo Feng turned. In the distance, a silhouette descended from the arena. It was Sa Jin. The tall and sturdy mother flame race was filled with shame and rage. The moment his consciousness returned to reality, he immediately jumped back into the virtual universe and flew over from his villa. What happened before? Sa Jin stared at Luo Feng. He didn't understand. For someone who was at the same universe level 9, how could the consciousness pressure difference be that huge? Don't ask me, I can only say your willpower is too weak. Luo Feng looked at Sa Jin and communicated mentally, go and train your willpower well. Sturdy willpower. Even if one's consciousness was pressured, as long as the difference wasn't too huge, one could still maintain consciousness. You. Sa Jin pointed at Luo Feng, speechless. I hope the next time I see you, you'll be stronger. Otherwise, the slot of the primal region doesn't have your place. Luo Feng finished and jumped down. He landed beside Wuka and Rong Jun and the rest of them, laughing as he said, let's go back. Wuka, don't fight with me. I'm treating today. The genius Jiang Mo from the AOGU Psi planet shouted. This batch of newbies, in terms of wealth. Wuka, Jiang Mo and Qian Shui were all pretty wealthy. As for Luo Feng and Rong Jun and the rest, they were far worse. After all, their families were not extremely wealthy. I don't care who's treating. Luo Feng smiled. As long as there's something to eat. Rong Jun smiled. Viciously take his money. Wuka shouted. The group of newbies laughed and left. Over 200 sector lords and domain lords were still discussing below the arena. Even though they were shocked, they slowly returned to their groups and left. Obviously this battle had made them all strongly remember the name Luo Feng. Below the arena, only the universe-level seniors still lingered. Sa Jin, how could you lose? What happened? Many people close to Sa Jin walked over. Sa Jin? Nan walked over too. Sa Jin snorted, gazing at the group and staring at Nan. Nan, you have to be careful too. Otherwise, you'll lose to him too at this qualification battle. After which, Sa Jin turned and left, that punk. The silver-armored youth Nan stared at the huge back of Sa Jin, his gaze gloomy. He actually didn't share anything. Sa Jin rushed into the sky, smiling coldly. Nan, do you think I am that stupid? Telling you that Luo Feng's move? Wouldn't I be helping you prepare then? If you all lose, I'll have more hopes of entering the primal region. It's good I lost this match, at least I'll be prepared for the qualification battle. Looks like I have to frequently visit Fantasy Ocean to train my willpower. With weak willpower, I won't be able to withstand that consciousness pressure. Sa Jin decided. This battle quickly grew widespread. Even the undisputed king of the absolute beginning universe level Luo Fu and the terrifying chemist Yu Feng heard of it. After which many seniors continued to challenge Luo Feng, however he didn't even respond. Because he had begun to his training mission. According to the plan, after passing the 7th level he was to begin his training. Absolute beginning region, Dragon Tower planet. This was an ancient and enormous planet. A disguised automaton ship entered the atmosphere of the planet, after which a silhouette kept the ship and flew 100 kilometers, landing in the vast forests below. This was none other than Luo Feng. His upper half was covered in the dark red armor, an armor made by the cloud contact vine. Above it was another layer of alluring colors. His arms were covered in 2 alluring colored guards. His legs too had the same armor, formed from alloys. Its flexibility and defense were both very high. His arm guards were embedded with a screen within, and on it, large amounts of words were displayed. It was information pertaining to his surroundings. He carried the dark golden long rod on his back. It was really uncomfortable in Blood River world not being able to use many weapons and technology. In this Dragon Tower world, however, I can use anything. Luo Feng glanced around. However, the danger level here is very high too. Universe-level soldier Luo Feng had arrived in Dragon Tower planet. He thus began his training mission journey. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.